4 hours and 23 minutes. That is how much time I spent on my phone yesterday. I checked, and honestly, I wish I had not. That is 30 hours a week. Almost a full-time job. If you add it up over a year, that is 60 full days. 2 entire months of my life, gone. Scrolling through content I do not even remember 5 minutes later.
Can I tell you something that might surprise you? A man named Seneca described your exact problem 2,000 years ago, without a single smartphone. He watched Roman aristocrats waste their entire lives on gossip, spectacles, and social climbing. And he wrote one of the most devastating lines in philosophy. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it.
2,000 years ago. And here is what makes it worse today. The average person checks their phone 144 times a day. The attention economy is a $600 billion industry. Every app, every notification, every infinite scroll is designed by teams of psychologists to steal your attention. We are not weak for struggling. We are fighting a system built to win. Before we get into the solution, be honest in the comments. What is your daily screen time? I bet most of you are afraid to check. Drop your number below. And if you want more Stoic tools for modern problems, hit subscribe. We do this every week. Okay, Michael. So Seneca saw this 2,000 years ago. But I have tried everything. Deleting apps, setting timers, doing digital detoxes. Nothing works. It is like my attention does not belong to me anymore. What did the Stoics actually do about it?
Well, let me tell you a story first. Seneca had a friend, a very wealthy, very busy Roman named Paulinus. Paulinus was the prefect of the grain supply. Basically, he ran the food distribution for the entire city of Rome. Important job, prestigious, exhausting.
Okay.
And Seneca wrote him a letter. An entire essay, actually. We call it, On the Shortness of Life. And in it, Seneca basically says, Paulinus, you are wasting your life. Not because your job is unimportant, but because you have given your attention to everyone and everything except the things that actually matter to you.
That hits different when you put it that way.
Seneca told him something remarkable. He said, people guard their money carefully. They lock their doors, they protect their property. But their time, their attention, they give it away to anyone who asks. They let other people's urgencies become their priorities. And then they are shocked when they reach the end of their life and realize they never actually lived.
Oh wow. That is exactly what my phone does. It takes my attention and gives it to whoever paid for the ad, whoever designed the algorithm, whoever posted the most outrageous thing that day.
Exactly.
But wait. Seneca's Romans did not have algorithms. They did not have push notifications. How is my situation the same?
Because the technology changed, but the human wiring did not. Seneca watched people fill every waking moment with distractions. Chariot races, banquets, political gossip. He said they were always busy but never present. The medium is different. The pattern is identical.
Always busy, never present. That is literally me. I am at dinner with friends and I am scrolling under the table.
And here is what makes your situation even harder. You are not just distracted by accident. You are fighting a $600 billion industry with willpower alone. Every notification is engineered. Every infinite scroll is calibrated. You are not weak for struggling. The game was designed for you to lose.
Okay, that actually makes me feel less terrible. But also more angry? Like, I have been beating myself up for having no willpower. And you are telling me the game was rigged from the start.
The game is rigged, and that is exactly why willpower fails. Every app blocker, every screen time limit, every digital detox retreat is fighting the symptom, not the cause. The Stoics understood something deeper.
Okay, what did they understand?
They had a practice that most people have never heard of. It is called Prosoche, Prosoche. It is a Greek word that means attention to oneself. The discipline of attention.
Prosoche. The discipline of attention. I have never heard that word before. What does it actually look like?
Prosoche was one of the most important Stoic practices. The philosopher Pierre Hadot, who spent his career studying ancient philosophy, called it the fundamental Stoic attitude. It means constant vigilance over your own thoughts and attention, watching where your mind goes, noticing when you are being pulled away from what matters.
So it is like mindfulness.
It is related, but it goes further. Mindfulness says notice where your attention is. Prosoche says notice where your attention is, and then ask, is this worthy of me? Is this how I want to spend the only life I have? Epictetus taught his students to practice prosoche every single day. He said in the Discourses, Book 4, Chapter 4, that we should keep watch over ourselves as if an enemy is lying in ambush.
An enemy lying in ambush. I mean, that is literally what push notifications are.
Epictetus would have had a lot to say about push notifications. But here is the deeper point. Marcus Aurelius took prosoche even further. In Meditations, Book 2, Section 7, he wrote one of the most urgent lines in all of philosophy. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good.
Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. That is intense.
It is intense because it is true. Marcus was writing that to himself. He was the emperor of Rome. He could have had anything he wanted. And he was reminding himself, do not waste this. Your attention is finite. Your life is finite. Every moment you give to something trivial is a moment stolen from something that matters.
Okay, so let me make sure I am tracking this. Seneca says we give our attention away to anyone who asks. Epictetus says, guard it like an enemy is coming. Marcus Aurelius says you do not have 10,000 years, so stop wasting the time you have. They are all saying the same thing from different angles.
That is exactly right. 3 different philosophers, 3 different centuries, one message. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Protect it.
But here's my problem, Michael. I know this. Like, intellectually, I know my phone is eating my life. I have read the articles, I have seen the screen time reports. Knowing is not the problem. The problem is I still pick it up 200 times a day.
And that is the most important thing you have said today. Because you just identified exactly why willpower fails. Willpower is a finite resource. You wake up with a certain amount of it, and every decision you make throughout the day drains it. By the evening, you have nothing left. That is why you scroll the most at night.
Oh my God, that is so true. I am fine in the morning. By 9 p.m., I am a zombie on my couch scrolling through videos of people I do not even follow.
Right, and the Stoics understood this intuitively. They did not try to fight desire with willpower. They replaced desire with purpose. You are not fighting your phone. You are choosing your attention. That is a completely different game.
Wait, say that again. You are not fighting your phone. You are choosing your attention.
When you fight your phone, you are using willpower, and willpower runs out. But when you choose your attention, you are using intention. And intention is renewable. The Stoics did not say resist temptation. They said know what you value and give your attention to that instead.
Okay, so how do I actually do that? Because it sounds great in theory, but I need something concrete. Something I can start today.
Good, I have something for you. I call it the Attention Audit. It is a 3-day practice inspired by Prosoche. And it does what no app blocker can do. It gives your attention back to you, not by fighting your phone, but by understanding why you reach for it.
The Attention Audit. Okay, I am ready. Walk me through it.
Here is how it works. For 3 days, every single time you pick up your phone, you pause for 2 seconds before you unlock it. Just 2 seconds. And in those 2 seconds, you ask yourself one question. What am I looking for?
What am I looking for? That is the question?
That is the question. And then you notice the answer. It will fall into one of 5 categories: connection, information, escape, boredom, or habit.
Connection, information, escape, boredom, or habit. I already know most of mine are going to be boredom and habit.
And that is the whole point. Most people have never asked themselves why they pick up their phone. They just do it. It is automatic. The 2-second pause breaks the automaticity. It turns an unconscious habit into a conscious choice. That is Prosoche in action.
Okay, so I do this for 3 days. Then what?
After 3 days, you review the pattern. You will see which need comes up the most. Maybe it is escape. Maybe it is boredom. Maybe it is connection. And then you make one change. Just one. For the need you identified most often, you find one non-phone way to meet it.
Oh, so if my biggest need is boredom, I do not delete Instagram. I find something else to do when I am bored.
Exactly. Maybe you keep a book next to the couch where you usually scroll. Maybe you go for a 10-minute walk. Maybe you call a friend instead of texting. You are not fighting the phone. You are giving your attention somewhere better. That is the Stoic way. You do not resist. You redirect.
You do not resist. You redirect. I love that. That feels so much more doable than just white-knuckling it through another digital detox.
And here is why it works when everything else fails. App blockers fight the symptom. Willpower fights the urge. But the attention audit addresses the root cause. It asks, what need is my phone meeting, and how can I meet that need in a way that actually fulfills me? You do not fight distraction. You choose intention.
You do not fight distraction. You choose intention. That is the line. That is the whole episode right there.
And that is what Seneca was trying to tell Paulinus 2,000 years ago. Stop giving your attention to everyone else's priorities. Start giving it to your own. Your attention is the only thing that is truly yours. Guard it like the Stoics said, because no one else will.
Okay. Let me pull together what we covered today. Because this one hit me personally.
Go ahead.
Number 1. Your phone is not the problem. A $600 billion industry is designed to capture your attention. You are not weak for struggling. You are fighting a system built to win. Number 2. The Stoics practiced Prosoche, the discipline of attention, 2,000 years ago. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius all taught the same thing. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Guard it. Number 3. Willpower fails because it is finite. You run out by evening. The Stoic approach is not to fight desire but to replace it with purpose. You do not resist, you redirect. Number 4. The attention audit is a 3-day practice. Every time you pick up your phone, pause for 2 seconds and ask, what am I looking for? Notice whether it is connection, information, escape, boredom, or habit. After 3 days, find one non-phone way to meet your biggest need. And number 5. You do not fight distraction. You choose intention. That is the Stoic way.
That was beautiful. Seneca would be proud. And I think he would also say, start today. Not tomorrow, not next week. The next time you reach for your phone, pause for 2 seconds. That is your first act of Prosoche.
I am starting right now. Well, after we finish recording.
Fair enough.
Leave a comment and tell us what topic you want us to cover next. We read every single one. And hit subscribe if you have not already. See you next time.